in action. We are back in Premier League action. I am so excited. That international break took way too long. That was like a million years, way too long. We are back in Premier League action. If you are as excited as I am, hit that like button and subscribe. Not only are we back in Premier League action, we are back in action against Manchester City, the 197th Manchester Derby. It is tomorrow. So this is your match preview for that game. Get excited, get into it. I've got some quotes from City and from United on the match, and I've got some very interesting comments from Ruben Amorim about Kobe Mainoo. So stick around for that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So first, some match facts. As I said, the 197th Manchester Derby. We are closing in on 200, closing in on history. Maybe they'll do something special for that. I think they should do something special for 200 when they get that number. But anyway, the match is Sunday at the Etihad. That is City's home ground. For those of you who don't know, United, we are in ninth place. One win against Burnley, one draw at Fulham, one loss to Arsenal. City are where they belong. They are 13th. They are behind us. They've got one win against Wolves and two losses, one to Brighton and one to Spurs. Like I said before, I think we'll be saying lost to Spurs quite a bit this year. They had a stumble, but I think they're looking pretty good. Anyway, not important right now. Erling Haaland comes into the match as the league leader in goals, I think with three. Still very early because there's only been three games, right? The last 10 meetings, City won five. We've drawn two, and United have won three. Gonna make it four here pretty soon. I feel it. The most recent result was a 0-0 draw at Old Trafford in April. So anyway, the weather is supposed to be 14 degrees Celsius, 58 degrees Fahrenheit for those who are in the United States. Overcast and possible rain. Welcome to Manchester for those who don't know or aren't aware. I've been multiple times, and both times it was just like that. And it was weird too, because like the day before, the day after, it wasn't any rain. But like match day, it was rain or it was overcast or cold or something. Anyway, welcome to Manchester. For those who aren't aware, that is the typical weather. Now, for City, they have been hit with the famous injury bug. They are missing Marmoush. They are missing both Rayans and Shriki and Nuri. Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips, yes, he's back at Manchester City. Bettinelli and John Stones is a doubt. He is a doubt. He might make it. He may not. Pep was coy on that. So my predicted 11 for City is Donnarumma starts in goal. You can't not start Donnarumma. I mean, James Trafford, he got what, save of the month or whatever. But like, I mean, it's Gigi Donnarumma, right? Champions League winner, Italy goalkeeper. I mean, man mountain. The guy's huge. The guy, I mean, like, yeah, like you can't not start him. So Donnarumma starts in goal. Nunez, Stones, if he's fit, starts in the back. Diaz and Ake. Rodri holding it down the midfield, of course. Oscar Bob, Reinders, Silva and Doku, and then of course Erling Haaland starting up front. Now, comments from Pep. So anyway, I don't know if you guys watched the Manchester City presser, but Pep seemed like exhausted. He seemed weirdly exhausted. I hope everything's all right. I'm not speculating, but he just seems weirdly exhausted. Maybe he's just tired, didn't get enough sleep or whatever. But anyway, watch it if you haven't. Interesting. So anyway, he was asked a lot about player exits. Actually, he wasn't really asked a whole lot about the match, at least from the tidbits of press conference I was able to see. He says, I have 16 players available now, so it's easier when he was asked about his smaller squad as opposed to having 26 before. Um, he says, I think for ourselves, I trust a lot with the players when asked who the game is bigger for. So again, just to repeat that so I'm clear, he was asked, is it a bigger match for Manchester United or Manchester City? He says, I think for ourselves, meaning City. And he says, I trust a lot with the players. He was asked about, Gigi Donnarumma coming in and what he gets with Gigi Donnarumma versus Ederson. If basically there he's being asked if Gigi is going to be as good as Ederson. He says Pep says I will not demand Gigi to do something he is uncomfortable with. We didn't take Gigi to do what Ederson did. So basically he's saying that they're going to have to adapt their style of play to fit what Donnarumma can do. And I'm going to make a point about that later in the show. So stick around for that. And now I'm paraphrasing a bit here, but basically there was a quote where honestly, okay, let me just be honest. It was a stupid question. It was a stupid question from the journalist. Basically paraphrasing here, the journalist said that Arne Slot said that Isak is the best striker in the world. Where does that leave Erling Haaland? Again, dumb question from the journalist, but Pep answered it anyway. Pep said just above, right? So basically he's saying that he still believes that Erling Haaland is better than Alexander Isak. Again, for the triple third time, dumb question from the journalist. I don't understand why like some of these reporters get in there and they have their shot to ask the manager a question and they ask something stupid like that. Like, what do you think Pep is going to say? Yeah, Isak is better than Erling Haaland. Like, no, of course he's not going to say that, right? I mean, and look at the stats too, right? I mean, Isak's great, but like he's not Erling Haaland, at least not yet. So, yeah, I mean, dumb question. Anyway, another question about Donnarumma asked to Pep, what does Gigi give you that you didn't have? And Pep said he's so tall, right? Like I said earlier, he just mentioned how big Gigi is. And then he was asked how many more years will you be at City? He said, Pep says, I said many times, I don't know what's going to happen. I like to look forward. It's my 10th season here. I'm so proud of that, right? So those were the, quotes from the Man City presser, but more importantly, moving on to the Manchester United presser. As I said before, part one came out yesterday. Everyone jumped on it. I was waiting until part two came out to then put that into your match preview. So let's get into it. Obviously, player fitness, right? Cunha, conflicting reports on that one, right? Could make the squad, could not. Mount, again, conflicting reports, could play, could not. Dallo, he's out for sure. And of course, Lisandro Martinez is out as he recovers from that ACL injury. Now, comments from Ruben Amorim. And again, here come those interesting Kobe Mainoo comments. So please keep watching as I relay those to you. So first, Ruben said, I believe in Altai. He is ready to play and he is going to play. So obviously that gives away that Bayender will be starting in goal for Manchester United, which is what I predicted before. When he was asked about injuries, he says, I don't know how long it's going to take. We need those players to be a very, very competitive team, but we have very good players that are eager to play. So we will be competitive on Sunday, but they are out. They cannot help us in this game. Again, he's saying that, but there were conflicting reports. So I don't know. I could be reading too much into it. We could be 100% without Cunha, Mount, Dallo, of course. Or he could be playing mind games. I don't know. I don't know. I saw a little cheeky smile when he said it, so who knows? Um, anyway, he was asked, have you noticed a difference in Mainoo now that he's staying? Now, taking a breath there. These are the interesting comments that Ruben Amorim has said. He says, I believe a lot in Kobe. I think he can do so much better. He will have opportunities like the other guys. He's a top player, but he can be so much better. Again, twice now he said he can be better. He's not used to fighting for his place, maybe. That was interesting. That was interesting that Ruben Amorim said that Kobe is not used to fighting for his place. He said he's a very good kid. He's good at controlling the game. Now, he said something that I've said. I got slated for this. Some people were like, you don't know what you're talking about. This is what Ruben Amorim said. He says he needs more pace. So this is something that I've said. I stick to it. Kobe Mainoo is not a center mid. He is a 10. He doesn't have the pace to get up and down the pitch to be a center mid. He's a 10. He's got quick bursts of speed and pace and power, right, in that area, but it's not prolonged and sustained enough to get up and down the pitch. Like, he's not going to run with the ball from box to box. He's not going to do that. That's not his game. He's not fast enough to do that. So he needs to be like in and around the box where he can make quick passes, use his tight dribbling ability, take a shot, link up play, things like that, right? So Ruben Amorim to me is confirming what I've been saying to you all, and that Kobe is not a center mid. He did say something which, I thought was kind of funny too. He said, I can push Bruno up, but then I take Cunha, or I switch Cunha to the other side, but then I take Brian. Obviously, me, right? Now, look, guys, I would be devastated to lose my starting spot in the Manchester United 11. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Obviously, he means Brian and Mbumo, not yours truly, Brian Martin. Um, um, Ruben also said that we need to be very competitive, right? But I just want to go back to these Kobe comments. So, for those shouting about Kobe, I get it. Kobe is a talent. He is potentially the future of Manchester United, but he's not going to be played in the center mid, right? Because he's not a center. Well, he has been, but he's not a center mid. He's a 10, right? So he's got to fight with Cunha and Mbeumo. I just thought it was interesting though that that Ruben did reiterate that Kobe's got to fight with Casemiro and Bruno, but then at the same time saying that he doesn't have the pace, so therefore, it's a little bit conflicting to be honest, right? If you kind of think back on it, as I think back on it live as I'm speaking to you, but what I read is that Kobe is not a center mid, doesn't have the pace for it, right? Doesn't read the game the way that he should for a center mid, right? Definitely more of an attacking midfielder, 10, even a false nine. I said it to you, even a false nine, right? I think maybe he could even play up there if we slightly alter our system and formation a bit. So that's what Ruben Amorim said about Kobe Mainoo. I thought was quite interesting that he was saying that, he's a top player, but he can be so much better, and that he's not used to fighting for his place. So maybe there's a bit of a, you know, I don't want to say attitude issue, because he said he's a very good kid. So I don't think there's any attitude problem. I just think that maybe there is a bit of a a bit of a frowny face from Kobe, right, in terms of having to put in the work to outpace Bruno and Casemiro, who were favored ahead of him in the midfield. So that was interesting. Go back and watch the presser if you didn't see it, and just listen to his comments and see what you think for yourself. Now, moving on, Ruben was asked about Benjamin Šeško. So you like how I pronounced that, right? Benjamin Šeško. I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it. So anyway, Ruben said against Burnley, he had some movements that we don't have with Josh, with Cunha, and with Rasmus in the past. We can use him more as a runner. Maybe against City is a good moment to start the game. Wink, wink, wink. Right? Again, he said maybe against City is a good moment to start the game. I think that's another hint that Šeško will start. And again, you will see what I think in my predicted 11 a little bit later in the show. So please stick around for that. So yeah, comments on Šeško there. We can use him more as a runner. Again, I don't think he has blistering pace, but I mean, he also mentioned him getting in the box and getting on the end of headers, which I do agree with, right? About him being a runner, I'm not so sure about that one. Now, anyway, my predicted 11, without further ado, is right here. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Bayender in goal. Euro, Delit, Shaw across the back. I think Mesraoui comes into this game. Casemiro, Bruno, and Dorgu. And then I think Ahmad goes up to replace the injured Cunha next to Mbumo. And then I believe Šeško starts this game according to what Amorim said. I also think he should start because we need Xerxes as an option to either come in as a 10 or a striker, not the other way around. If Xerxes starts, we've only got Šeško on the bench to come in as a striker, whereas if Šeško starts in his natural position, we've got Xerxes who can come on as a 10 or a striker. That gives us a bit more flexibility off of the bench. Now, with that said, with the starting 11, my predicted starting 11 on the screen, my tactics to win this match are to press. I've got it in big letters here in my notes for myself. Press, 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 right? Of course, City are going to have more possession, but that's just what it is. That's Pep style, that's City style, right? But hear me out. It might be a little bit wet. We should press City hard. Donnarumma is not Ederson, right? He's not as good with his feet. He might make a mistake. Again, he has played in pressure cooker situations, but the Manchester derby is different to me. It's a different level, especially making a home debut in front of the fans. Might be some nerves there, right? So I say we press the absolute hell out of City and try and take advantage of a mistake and score early. Once we score early, we should still push them back and press them, but maybe we can defend a bit more because City are not comeback kings. They're not comeback kings. They don't have Fergie time. They didn't do Fergie time the way that United does and did. So I think that we can get an early goal by pressing. I would love to get multiple early goals, but at least get an early goal. And I'm not saying pack it in and defend. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, park the bus or anything like that. But I'm saying we can then continue to attack, but attack in a bit more of a smarter and controlled way, as opposed to an all-out press, which is how I think we should start the match. So my prediction, however, with all that said, is a 1-1 draw. If I'm being realistic, I would love to say we're going to go in there and nick a 1-0 or a 2-0, but we're at their home ground, so I don't see that. Erling Haaland is on fire. I mean, the guy scored, what, 5 goals over the break, and he's already got 3 goals in the league, so I think he gets one. I think he just does. I think he's just kind of inevitable at this point. So I think we get a 1-1 draw out of this match, which is not bad for facing City. Yes, they are weakened by injuries. But I will take a draw. I will take a draw. I think we can win. I think we can win if like all the stars align. But if I'm being realistic, I think 1-1 draw. And I will take that. I'll take that out of this match. If we draw this match, if we draw to Chelsea or win there, and then we beat Sunderland and Brentford, I think that keeps us in pace, right? It doesn't keep us in pace with the top of the table, but it keeps us, you know, just below that, and a good platform for us to build from and move forward. So yeah, that's it for your match preview. Guys, please again, guys, again, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Especially if you were as excited as I am about the match tomorrow. I mean, I've got my shirt laid out. You know, I've already got my snacks picked out. I'm ready to go. I will be doing a live halftime show and a post-match discussion. Hopefully celebrating and talking about a Manchester United victory. But if not, at least a draw. That's why I think, again, 1-1, I think will be the final score. With that said, I will get out of here, guys, and let you get back to your day. I appreciate your time, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.